Hello there, this is Rom Wills coming back at you with yet another car video. Nuances in the player game. You know what, check it out. This is kind of a follow-up to my last car video, especially since it's the same day. Yeah, on as an aside, I try as best as possible to record all my videos for the week on 2 days so I can chill out the rest of the week. But anyway, right, nuances. I was talking about a lot of people think they know the game and they don't see a lot of little stuff. And that's just a reality, though. There's a lot of nuances to it. You just can't go into the game thinking you have some basics and, that's all you need, right? It's really one of those things. You really have to get out there and do stuff. Because you got a lot of people, they listen to all these videos, they buy all the books, but then they don't get out there and actually do some work. Let me give an example. It's common for people to say, to get women, you just need looks, money, and status. Okay, let's think about that. Now, say you got a cat, he got some looks, so he look good. He got some status, right? He can hand the woman his business card or something, and definitely got money. He could probably pull up in whatever the hot car is now. I say a Mercedes. That's classic. Okay, he's doing all that. That don't mean he's gonna get any play. I'm gonna tell you why. Because a lot of dudes who follow that, they just think that's all he need, and the woman's just gonna swoon all over him. No. First of all, if you got all that and you approach a woman, she thinks something wrong with you. A lot of dudes don't realize that. If you kind of average looking or even ugly and you approach a woman might be more comfortable with that than she would with a good looking guy approaching her. Because the first thing she think is, if this good looking guy's approaching me, he's a player, or B, something wrong with him. And I don't care how good she look. Because in their mind, a dude who's getting all this play doesn't have to approach women. That's how women think. Seriously. I don't care what they tell you. And some women, they'll tell you that. They be like, what's wrong with it? It's like sometimes if you got all that stuff, another thing, if you got all that stuff and you say you don't have a girlfriend, and in some cases, some communities, you say you don't have kids, first words, what's wrong with it? So there's a lot of nuances with that. Let me give an analogy for that. Basketball. Y'all know I like using that basketball analogy, right? You got some, I knew this cat when I was in college, right? Freshman year in college, right? We had this cat. This dude in a pickup game could hit a shot from anywhere. So, the basic of the game is to put the ball in the hoop. And this dude could do that. This dude could do that in a pickup game if he has an open shot. Now, in pickup games, anybody who play pickup know defense is lacking. People just shoot. And this dude was kind of dorky looking, so people didn't think he could hit a shot, but he could. So we get to intramurals and stuff. Dude sucks. Because, yeah, he could shoot, but he couldn't shoot with somebody playing a little bit of defense on him. And he couldn't really move without the ball. He couldn't do a lot of little stuff. He couldn't do a lot of nuances. It's the same way in the player game, right? A lot of dudes, they'll look at the basics and think, okay, I got it. That's it. You even got some guys that think they can get plastic surgery or they'll get more money. I'm like, dude, at no point did you say you still got to interact with the woman. And then you don't know what's going on with the woman, what she like. You could run into a woman who's married or got a boyfriend and they just want some stiff dick. So while you thinking your money is impressing them or your status or even your looks, they looking at your print. Or they still want you to be able to talk to you. A lot of dudes, they don't just, if you get spouting dumb stuff out of your mouth and stuff, a lot of women get turned off by it. Or if you say something that she finds obnoxious, they get turned off by it. A lot of dudes will say something, they'll think, oh, well, I got this looks. They get arrogant. They got all this shit. But they just turn the woman off. They don't make her feel comfortable or something. So there's that nuance. And also even how you talk to them. And there's a lot of little stuff even picking up women. Let me give you an example. I'm coming from the gym. There's a young girl I notice in there, right? White young girl, right? I notice she looks my way and smiles if she's in there by herself. But if she's in there with her mother, she act like she don't see me. Now the nuance there is parents probably wouldn't be down for her, like, getting plowed by some old black man. Which is, it's cool. I'm cool with that. I'm cool with that. But that's that nuance. So it's like you gotta look at that little thing, what's going on. Like on my new VMO channel and stuff, where I have my paper on demand videos, that nuance is racial, that nuance is religion. If you're talking with somebody and they like praise Jesus and your ass is a atheist, and that comes up in conversation, you think she's still gonna get with you just because you look a certain way? Nah. That shit, stuff might stop, man. Might go forward. She might want that. Oh, and that's another thing too, even with the religion part, right? That's a shit. I'm glad I thought about that, right? Because you get some guys, they want a lot of women and stuff, right? So somebody might pick up on that, like talk to the woman, and she's like talking about church, and the guy say, "Oh, okay." Immediately he thinks, instead of just being honest, telling her what's happening, he immediately says, "Oh, yeah, I'm in church, reading the Bible, do Bible study," think he gonna get in there. And then the woman's turned off. He can't figure out why. But the nuance there was, that particular woman wasn't looking for a church guy. She was looking for somebody she could get a freak on with, because a church guy would judge her for being a freak. Y'all get what I'm saying? There's a lot of little nuances. And really, I'm going to tell you what, any advice, I'm going to speak for myself. I'm not going to speak for the other people out here, because I don't know any of the other coaches. I don't, they might have a different view, but this is my view. All I can do is just give you some general stuff for you to at least get out there and learn some stuff. And that's what I do with my books. But you have to get out there, because there's so many things that can go wrong, or there's so many things that could happen, even in a conversation. You could be, how many dudes have been they feeling a woman? Because I get questions like this all the time. They feeling a woman, it seems like the woman's feeling them. It's cool, they texting, then all of a sudden the woman just stopped. And you have no idea what it was. And it was just like, all it really was, you just said something that annoyed her, that turned off, instant dryness. And of course she probably don't even want to tell you, but that's part of the game. That's part of the nuances. Women ain't gonna just, you gotta get out there, and you gotta get the experience. You gotta know how to talk, what to pick up on. Like I told a dude, and he probably checks out this video and stuff. I mean, I told a dude, because he had a thing about getting real serious with a woman, telling women all his problems and stuff as soon as he met him. And I said, man, just keep it fun when you first meet him. That's simple. He got his dick sucked behind it as soon as he started doing that. But that's a nuance. It's a lot of little things. It's a lot of things you gotta consider. Sometimes when you meet someone, you have to be bold, or you have to be, have a more of a pimp hand, velvet, steel hand in a velvet glove type of thing. And like I said earlier, started alluding to earlier, it could be a racial thing, religious thing. It could be a class thing. Like, it's funny where, I hear about dudes saying approach, but it's a big difference between approaching somebody who's lower class, like trailer park housing project type of person, and then somebody who grew up in an affluent neighborhood. There's a big ass difference how you approach them, even how you had to be with them. Because you gotta be, you can't be all hard ass with the upper class ones, because they get turned off. And then with the lower class ones, working, poor working class areas, you gotta be hard. You gotta be like steel. You can't be like no punk or hesitating. But that's a nuance. Sometimes you can only learn it through experience. You really can't learn it. I couldn't teach it in a class, because you gotta get out there and then learn for yourself. Because one of the things with that, one of the nuances is, if I told 5 dudes to do the same exact thing, it's going to work differently for them. In fact, it'll work best for the person who looks most like me and came from has my temperament the most. The one who comes the closest to me, it will work for the best, because everybody's going to respond to every woman's going to respond to a group of men differently. They will respond. It's not an automatic thing where, there's some, like, just some line you could say and the panties drop. One man could walk up to a woman and say, hey, I want to make love to you. And shoot, she's like, come on, let's go. And it could be whatever reason. It's not necessarily he looks good to her. It's just, he was walking up wearing some gray sweatpants. And his print was showing. And she was like, shit. The print showed about 8 inches at least and shit. She was like, oh shit, come on, motherfucker. And then some other guy comes up. He ain't giving off any sexual energy or something. And, the woman's like, whatever. And ironically, the one that giving off sexual energy might actually look better and have the money and status. While the one, with the print looks looks dusty. But it depends on the woman, what she looking for at that moment. Come on, dog. So it's a lot of stuff, man. It's a lot of nuances. And it really is the only way you're going to learn those nuances. You got to get out there and you got to figure it out. You're going to have to get rejected. You're going to have to talk. You're going to have to figure out what works for you, what doesn't. Like I said, the only thing I can do, I can give you some general ass shit. Yeah, I can give you some general ass shit, some basic shit, some foundational shit. Like, I can teach you how to maybe shoot that jumper, but I can't, and I can give you maybe some advice on how to get open to shoot that jumper, but ultimately, you got to figure out how you moving. Because even if you playing, let me use a basketball example again. Okay, you're a ball player, right? And you can see this in college games. You play against one, like you play in one game, you got this one guy guarding you. Dude's slow, he can't really guard well. You get open there all the time, you use him. You making him your bitch and stuff. Shit, you do like James Harden do and stuff. Do a crossover dribble, watch the dude fall, wait for him to get back up, and then shoot it as soon as he get back in your face. And then, but then you all fired up, but then you get that one guy can stick on you like glue. And it's like all of a sudden it's different. He's shutting you down. He locking you down. So that's how the game is in real. That's how the player game is. It's different. It's different. Like you might have to do something different. Another thing, you get some guys, they can pop 3-pointers all the time, right? Like I was watching my college team, St. Joe's, they were playing. They had this dude on there. That dude could pop 3-pointers forever, right? But then they played this team who they were guarding. This dude is 6'9". They were guarding him with a dude who was like 5'11", because they figured, hey, just stay in his face. Don't give him room to shoot the J. So, but he had to switch up and stuff. That's a nuance. He had to switch up and start posting them up, and he was scoring like crazy. He had to change up. But that's something that you got to know in the context of the game, context of experience and everything, And that's a nuance. Everything's a nuance. So, anyway, that's it for today. What y'all think on it? Yeah. Yeah, have a great day. Peace and blessings.